Back out in the Montana garage, just doing some little stuff today. Seems like that's kind of been the story lately, just little stuff. Bell housing, transmission, I'm gonna get these. I kind of cleaned up the transmission one day. I filmed some of that and it got lost to GoPro footage space, black hole area, wherever it goes. And then the bell housing, I'm also gonna clean that up. I'm probably gonna get like a Lakewood SFI, like steel bell housing for, because I hope to race it a little bit, but they're out of stock until like January or something. So this might end up being temporary, but it might end up being permanent. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and get it painted as well. So both these things are going to get cleaned and painted, and then we will install the engine in the chassis. You Tri-5 guys probably know all about this already. So this is an original bell housing from a Tri-5. So these are the rear engine mounts, and I used to have to replace these quite a bit. This one's still solid, and these weren't in my car very long. I mean, they were in there a long time, but it wasn't driven very much. But this is what would happen: is you would break the rubber loose, and then the engine would sag a little bit, and that's where I was saying before, my distributor cap would be like right against the firewall. And anyways, we're getting rid of those and going with the more modern kind of side mount. Another reason this bell housing should be temporary rather than permanent is it does have one broken ear or bolt flange hole. So it should look like that, and it looks like that. I don't remember exactly how it broke. If I didn't tighten it down even, or there was something about this engine getting kind of sort of a little bit dropped once. Maybe that's when it happened. I don't remember, but I do remember I did have the piece, and I probably still have it somewhere. I had a JB welded in here, and it seemed like it held, but as soon as I went to when I took this apart, it was just loose there, so it wasn't really doing anything anyway. So I'm not sure how big of a deal it is that we're missing one. I'm sure it's not ideal, but like I say, this is probably going to get replaced. But I'm not that smart, so I'll waste a bunch of time painting it anyways. All right, I didn't waste a whole bunch of time on that. It was actually pretty clean once I hit it with the old air, and then a little bit of brake clean and a scrub brush, rinse that off, and then I just hit it with some Scotch-Brite just to get rid of any loose stuff. And now I got the heat gun rolling just to warm it up a little bit. We'll do one quick coat of etch primer because there's a little bit of bare stuff, and then we'll squirt the orange real quick. And even if it ends up being temporary, at least it'll look good while it's sitting in the chassis. All right, I think we got, more nice camera work. I think we got most of the bare stuff with a little tiny light coat of this etch. Let that set for a few, and orange it'll be. All right, you get the idea. It's orange. All right, so possibly another reason that probably be a good idea to replace this thing. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, kind of right there. Looks like you can see this line right like that. It almost, the paint's still wet, so I don't want to touch it, but once I painted it, that showed up. It almost to me looks like it might be cracked right there. Once it dries, I'll try to, investigate a little further, but I think we'll definitely replace this just in case. So I had this in the car. You had the front engine mounts go on the frame here. The rear engine mounts go on the bell housing, and they were on those ears that I cut off, and those were, I don't know where they were, right here somewhere. And then the transmission is just kind of hanging in space. There was no transmission Crossmember. I don't know if that's how everybody did this, or probably would have been a good idea to have a transmission Crossmember still, but a transmission just bolts, 4 bolts to the bell housing, and then it was just, like I said, just kind of hanging in space. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that is broke. Maybe that's not what it is, that might just be the casting, but once that fresh paint got on there, I didn't see it at all before, and then it just looks like it might be a crack that the paint sucked itself down into and showed up, but who knows? Like I said, we'll replace it just to be sure. Hey, welcome back to the Montana Garage. Tonight might be the night that we actually get an engine back in the chassis. It's been a long time since I've been out here, a couple weeks. I don't know. Look at my camera's even. My lens is dirty. I should start over. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But tonight, I'm gonna try to get the engine in the chassis. I don't remember where I left off or what video, or not that I don't remember, I just don't know by the time this comes out what you guys will have just got done seeing last. I haven't put a video out forever, but I redid all the gaskets on that guy, so you probably saw that. And now we're gonna put it in the chassis. So I got my handy dandy chain on here to lift it. I got my handy dandy hoist that I got off Facebook Marketplace ready to roll. I went and got some hardware, so I got some bolts to bolt the motor mounts in place with. I got some solid motor mounts installed on the block there. So we're gonna hoist that over, get it in the engine mounts there, and then temporarily install the bell housing, which is there, and the transmission, which is there. I don't have a clutch. I have a flywheel, but it still needs resurfaced, so I'm not going to put any of that stuff in there. I'm just going to put the bell housing on, put the transmission on, and then I can figure out where this transmission crossmember goes, and we'll get those holes drilled and get that mounted. So that's kind of the task at hand. Let's get to it. Moose, what are you doing up there? I was standing here looking at my camera. Moose was on this chair right there, and all of a sudden he just lunged up, clawed onto my chest, and climbed onto my shoulders. Moose, you're not a parrot. Moose, want a cracker? It doesn't work. You're not a parrot. Why are you on my shoulders? Let's see if we can get him to voluntarily get down. Here you go, Moose. That's actually the second time tonight he's done that. All right, took a little struggling, but we got the engine mounts lined up and bolted in. Still got some tension on the chain here because I don't want it to tilt too far back. So I'll get the bell housing Then we'll wrestle the transmission up there and we'll get an idea where that crossmember goes. Alright, so I said before, it's just temporary install. Bell housing's broken right here. No clutch in there. Bell housing might be broken right here. Looks like a crack on the outside, but on the inside I don't see nothing. Anyways, I want to use one of them Lakewood scatter shields. They just cost a lot of money, but eventually I'll need one to race, you know? Moose, you're in the way. You gotta muscle this transmission in here. You can't help from up there. Yeah, maybe I don't even need the jack. Just pretend like I'm strong. Yep. Maybe life is gonna be easier with the jack. Jammed in here. That was too easy. No clutch or anything in the way in there. Alright, I'm not going super tight. This is obviously coming back out of here, but enough to hold her in place. I got this energy suspension polyurethane transmission mount. So let's crawl under here and see if we can figure out how or where this goes. Make sure these threads are okay. I think I should have done before I freaking put it in here. Let's see if I can find a tap this size. Alright, I think I found the right tap. Now she goes in there nice and easy. The other one went in, but we'll clean it out too. You see anything? Hello. All right, now let's see if we can get, what do I do with the rest of it? Come on now, where's it at? Kind of forced together.
time, I guess, so I got threads on both of them started, I guess. Oh, wait a second. Now I forgot to look. There's a certain way this is supposed to go. Darn it. I'm sure I got it wrong. Install mount with the radius towards the rear of the vehicle. Hey, we got lucky. Got it right by accident. I'll take that win. First time for everything. Bolt these together loosely. Okay, so that goes like that. Well, that didn't work either. Do one side but not the other, I guess. I'll be back when I figure this out.
And we're back. Of course, my battery, not magic battery in this thing right here died. So it's been a minute or two since we were back, but we got this all pretty much wrapped up. There was a little bit of struggling, like always. I had to, you know, just kind of figure out how to get this square, measuring off the A-arms and whatnot, and then the engine was, it was a little bit, it was like a ½ inch this way at the tail shaft of the transmission. So I loosened up the front motor mounts and kicked her over until I got, it's pretty much exactly centered now. And then I got the Crossmember in there, got the motor mounts tightened back up, got the engine crane moved out of the way. So that is where the engine's gonna be calling home. The engine hopefully can stay. Transmission bell housing obviously got to go away again, but now we know where all that stuff mounts, and we can get it all back together and move on to the next thing. So I got a little mess to clean up, and I just got called from the family. Dinner's ready inside, and we'll go do that, and who knows when we'll be back. But I appreciate you guys watching. There'll probably be more here, but if not, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we might just put this thing together someday. You never know.